Welcome to video 2, that's step 2, and it's all about payers. Payers are your buyers, people who owe you money. Okay, on the navigation bar, that's your business navigation bar in black, is payers. That will take you directly to it, or you can go to active. You right click on active, it'll take you there as well. So this is on your home page. So this is the home page, and we'll just take you there again, refresh it. So if we go to active and open a new link, it takes us to the first 20 properties, 2025. It loads automatically. You don't have to physically search for them. And from there, you can see that up the top on the grey bar, the only thing available is to add a new payer. So if you're doing it for the first time, of course, this box, your properties box, will not be there. So we have to add one from the very start. So let's do that. To do that, we also need the signed DDR. You must have a signed DDR by the payer or the buyer, the property buyer, so that you have authorization to take funds out of their account, so that cash collectors are authorized to do that on your behalf. So you're not physically doing it yourself. IntraPay cash collectors are doing that through the trust account. It is your portal, so therefore it abides by all the regulations around that. So as long as that's signed, you can set up reoccurring, fortnightly, weekly, monthly, continue until further notice. In this case, we're using $687, and we've put in some demo information, and we've left out the phone numbers and the emails, which are actually important on this step, because that email and that mobile are the ones that here are used for them to get the alarm texts and emails that their payment's due or one has failed. So therefore $25 will be added to their next scheduled payments, whether that is weekly, fortnightly or monthly, and it happens automatically. So this is where the setup happens. Okay, so we're going to import this information and the start date, you can leave it open if you don't know when it is, and it's best to put it in there if you do. But if you don't, as long as they've signed it and you have your paperwork when the person goes into the house, the DDR stands. So there's no issue with that. If it is blank, leave it blank and go off your paperwork. You still have authorization to take the funds out, and when it would start is when they take possession of the property. So based on that, we might start this on the 27th. Today's the 24th. We're going to use the names Jim and Kate, and the address is 200 Sydney Street, Brisbane. So the last name is Blue. So this is where it's important to use your ID using the property. Blue is the last name. So your property will always be 200 Sydney Street, last name Blue. So in here is Jim and Kate. And the last name is Blue. So you can put in the address again. The address can be that's Brisbane. It's demo addresses, everybody, just to give you an idea of what's actually happening. This is in Queensland. We'll put in a number that should work. That should also work. Okay, so now we're going to have $687 a week. It's going to be unending. Manual is for deposits, so or you're doing a manual payment. limited by debit account. That's something that's really not used for ourselves, but it is a count of debits. And the limited by the debit total, which is the debit itself. So we're going to do this on a fortnightly basis, and just to check on our DDR form, it's a fortnightly basis. It's correct. So fortnightly basis and the day of the week, whichever one suits their pay period, and we'll take it as a Thursday. So the bank account, where the bank account will be on the DDR. In this case it's blank, but as a demo we are putting in now. You notice that the next one is account backwards. It's a double check, and also as soon as you press that it goes black, so you won't be able to read it. That is why you use your DDR, because then you can you've got it in front of you and you can put it in backwards. And if that is correct, it allows you to go on to the next stage, which is their account. Account name. So once you've done that, that's it. Once you've checked your details, you've now added a payer. Okay. Now the payers is not active. It's active, but it's not scheduled in there because you've got no disbursement. So you can, once you pick up the funds, it doesn't go anywhere. So therefore, if you don't have your disbursement set up, it won't pick up the funds. So it's this particular system for this particular application is funds in, funds out of that trust. It's only held there for 4 or 5 days, and then it goes. The other deposit trust, which is something we'll cover in a further video, happens a little bit differently. So therefore, this also, as you saw, created this automatically. So all the details on the left of the screen and the right of the screen is for the payment schedule. No disbursement box. There's a box that goes in between here that puts all the disbursements in once we set them up, but that's another video. So it gives you can see the payment, successful payments or rejected payments, and that gives you totals. And we're collecting every Thursday from the 27th on a fortnightly basis. For that amount of money, we should have actually put it weekly. So let's go back and edit the details. And you can see in the grey screen that everything is accessible to you for payers. And this is particular to Kate or Jim and Kate Blue in that property. So if we actually go back one screen, we haven't got another tab open, so we're going to open another tab. You can see that in the individual properties they have a number, so we've actually gone into this individual property. So this is a new one which is not in the list yet. So edit details. We can edit the details, the account number if it changed, mobile phone number, etc., and then save. Must save the information as normal. Edit payments. Okay, this is where we can change everything to do with this payment schedule. So we can actually put in a totally new schedule, and I want to do it weekly at the moment, and it's going to be on a Thursday because I actually put it in fortnightly, but for that amount of money it should be weekly payment. So we want to change that starting on the 27th, and it's asking me to confirm it, and I'm confirmed it, and there it is, successfully updated to a weekly payment schedule. So the next one down is add an extra schedule. So you can put the debit and the date and add to the schedule, and it'll just slide it in. This is money being picked up from your buyers. You can change that, modify the debit amount. You can modify the debit period. You can also then, the last one is, you can actually make this particular address, once the address is put in as the payer, once the payer is put in, you can make it as suspended or cancelled. You can't actually physically delete it because everything's a record. So therefore, once it's in, but you can cancel it and then make it non-active for whatever reason. If you had to put a new buyer in there, or the property was settled, well then you would actually cancel that particular property once that happens. So that's where you do it. Moving on, you can go to edit disbursements, transactions, communications, and auditing, and we'll cover those in disbursements. So again, auditing, everything we're doing here is audited, is your audit trail as far as what we're actually doing, and you can see who did it, when, and what time. So that goes for your accountant, that goes for your bookkeeper, or your business partner, or yourselves. So that basically covers payers and buyers, and I'll see you in the next video.